Hello, welcome back. It's bright and early. I got things floating everywhere. It's not even 8 o'clock in the morning. If you're looking for me to look any better than this on any given day, you're going to be waiting a while because this is pretty much me on an average day. I usually have on comfy pants and a hoodie, so this is really dressed up. And I don't really wear makeup, so you're not going to get too much from me from that. But I am going to make a pot roast, and I use air quotes for that because this is not really a conventional pot roast. A pot roast, to me anyway, has carrots, celery, maybe onion, potato, meat, seasonings, that kind of thing. That's how my mom always made it. But I'm going to make it a little bit more keto or low carb. This is how I usually make it. Pretty much every week I make one, and I usually get about 3 meals out of it. But anything you want, it's your food. Eat it how you want. This is just how I make it, and I thought that I would let people know how easy it is to make, and it can still be pretty low carb. So let's get to it. Okay, hopefully everybody can see me. Trying to fix my settings a little bit. We'll see how it comes out. I have very tiny garlic. I have more garlic, I'm just lazy. It's not even 8 o'clock in the morning. I don't feel like chopping up any more garlic. But I do like it really garlicky, so I'll probably add some garlic powder to it as well. And these heads of garlic are literally so tiny. These are the pieces out of the thing that I don't like, because you have to unpeel so many tiny little ones. I'm going to use a whole medium yellow onion. For reference, it's about a little bit bigger than the palm of my hand. Just gonna dice it up. I have not even had coffee yet this morning, and I woke up with a headache, so off to a great start. I have faith the day will turn out a little bit better than it started though, so leave these pieces a lot bigger if you want. I just kind of like them smaller because it kind of distributes it throughout the whole thing. Like I said, I tend to eat this with other types of meat, like maybe even weirdly eggs, or I'll eat it with a piece of chicken or something. Like, I like variety in my dish. So I'm not going to just eat the pot roast. So even though it doesn't really look like too much, once I put it in the crock pot, I'll still get like 3 meals out of it. I'm going to chop up 3 stalks of celery. You can do as little or as much celery as you want. You can leave it out. I know some people who think celery is absolutely disgusting and it ruins everything, so you can leave it out if you want. I really like carrots, but they're a little bit higher in carbs. They're not horrible, but I avoid them, I guess. I don't add them. Probably add turnips. I've honestly never had a turnip, so I don't know if I like them or not. But I've heard people say that they taste similar to a potato when you cook them, so only weigh it. I bought a probably over 2-pound chuck roast at Sam's. I just chunk it into like 3 to 4 big pieces, and that's what I make my serving out of. I don't weigh it before I freeze it or anything. This is about 13.5 ounces of chuck roast. Okay, I just filmed, or thought I filmed, but I guess that's what happens when you do stuff way too early in the morning. I did add seasonings. Trust me, I'll tell you what I added. I added salt and pepper because I love salt. I added some Italian seasoning, which again isn't really a pot roast thing in my opinion, but I have it and I'm adding it. I added garlic powder, onion powder, I added some water, and I added beef bouillon granules. You don't have to add this. It's chuck roast. It's beef, obviously, but it adds extra flavor, and I like it. And like I said, it's not a lot. It doesn't look like a lot in the pot. But this will serve me like 3 meals. I am going to add green beans as well, but I like to add them about halfway to closer to being done because they don't take that long. But you can make this any way you want. You can add potatoes. Do whatever you want. It's your food. This is quick and easy. If I weren't talking and I had it chopped in advance, then it would have literally been like super, super easy. You could have done it the night before, shoved it in the fridge, and just plopped it in the crock pot the next day if you were in a hurry to get to work. There are carbs obviously in the onions and the celery, but you know, they're not horrible. The green beans will have carbs too, but you can add what you want. If you just wanted to make the chuck roast itself and cook it all day and season it up and let it get super tender, it'll just fall apart, and that'll be delicious with, I don't know, cauliflower rice if you like that kind of thing. I'm not a really big, huge fan of cauliflower. Cauliflower rice is okay, but I don't really eat it. Broccoli's okay. I don't eat it too often. I usually eat that if we eat out as a side. I don't usually buy it for home. I stick to a few vegetables, and that's really it. I like carrots, but they're a tiny bit higher in carbs, and I just don't eat them. So this is it. I'll have dinner later. I'll figure out something for lunch, which will probably be eggs, because I eat eggs a lot. Not every day, but pretty much every day. So super simple. It will be delicious, I promise you. I have found that chuck roast is one of the best cuts of meat that I like. I like it better than ground beef, and I'm cheap. So I still eat ground beef because it is a lot more affordable than a chuck roast. Especially if you're feeding a family, you're not going to get 3 meals out of this. You probably won't even be able to feed 2 people this meal. But for me, I add it with other things, so it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, hopefully you'll make it. Hopefully you'll like it, and it's super quick and easy. So thank you. Hope you come back. I did get a ring light. That's an improvement, I guess. I did order some stuff to make the pizza crust I talked about in a different video. So it's supposed to help make the crust crispy. It was kind of expensive for what it was. I think I got like 4 ounces, and it was like $10, which I think is crazy price, but I did want to try it. But also, I think you only need just a tiny little bit, and they had some that were like 2-ounce containers or something, and they were the same price, so I just bought the bigger one for the same price. But hopefully I will make that soon. It might not be in the next couple of days, but hopefully I'll make that soon and get it filmed and get it up, because I love pizza, and it is one thing that I do miss. So I do try to make different versions of a low carb pizza, even if it's just like a chicken crust or a sausage crust, or even the fathead dough. Like I said, I'll show you recipes for those at some point, because I know some people want things that are lower in carb and satisfy cravings. Most people do. That's why a lot of people don't succeed on low carb, or they don't stick with it, because you don't get a lot of variety if you're trying to stay in a certain carb budget. It doesn't allow for that. So I understand why a lot of people don't stick with it. But if you have options that are also low carb and you can get the craving fixed that you wanted, pizza, like I said, I probably won't do sweets because I don't really eat those, but I don't know. Who knows where this will take me. So thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe. Thank you. I hope you have a good day. I'll come back later, actually, and show you what it looks like, but it'll be, 6 to 8 hours from now. But that's it. Thanks. Okay, I'm back. It's actually did not take nearly as long as I thought. I still had like 2 hours left on the slow cooker, but I think I put it on for 6 hours on high. My roast it was thick, but it wasn't that much meat. So, it's noon and it's done already, so I may eat it for lunch. I don't know. I haven't eaten anything yet. But this is what it looks like. It's still pretty hot. I really like chuck roast. Which is weird because, I've had chuck roast before, even when I wasn't low carb or keto or whatever, but I don't know, I just always avoided it at the store. I just thought, oh, I won't like it. And I actually like it a lot better than ground beef most days, but I can't afford to eat chuck roast every day of my life, so. But I do eat it every week. I eat a lot of pork chops too, because pork is pretty cheap. You can buy like a huge pork loin for $15, and for me anyway, I get a lot of meat out of that. So this would probably be good with a pork roast as well. I've never made it that way, but it would probably be pretty good. I think it could use a tiny bit more salt, but I like a lot of salt. You do not have to use a crock pot. You could use a Dutch oven. You could use your stovetop. Stovetop, you'd probably have to babysit it a little bit more because the water will probably evaporate as it cooks, and the meat does take a little while to break down to the point where it actually shreds. If you just want to have a chewier piece of chuck roast, then you'd be fine. You wouldn't have to babysit it as much. I don't think it would take as long, but I like mine to fall apart. And if you wanted to add extra flavor, which might not be a bad thing, but I never take the time to do it because I'm kind of lazy. But if you had seared the meat first on all sides, it probably would have added a little extra flavor and depth to it. Okay, so that's it. 4 to 8 hours depending on your crock pot, and also probably depending on the amount of meat that you have in it and how much food you actually have in it. I mean, the more potatoes and stuff that you bulk in there, it may take a little bit longer to cook, but if you're just doing it like me, the onions and stuff, celery, they don't really take that long. It was mostly the meat, but that's it. Hopefully you try it and you like it, and it will be something to put into your rotation so you're not eating the same thing all the time. I'm a creature of habit. Like I said, I've been eating this probably every single week for a couple of months now, because one big chuck roast lasts me 3 to 4 weeks. I would not get a huge family through, but for me, it works. And that means I have something different. I eat a lot of chicken. I eat a lot of different other kinds of meats as well, but this is nice to pair with something else. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Still working on improving things. My kitchen is not tiny, but the setup is, I don't have a lot of room to work. So trying to find the appropriate place to put the camera and not show you boring view of my kitchen is a little challenging, but I'm working on it. So thank you.